There was some confusion about my E-Serial ATA adapter. You can get a PCI Express card for the Macintosh, and you could in fact make use of E-Serial ATA drives. The only difference between this adapter and what you get with the card is this does have the power connector, the power cable connector for it, so I can actually use internal SATA drives as well as external SATA drives, and the internal SATA drives are going to be a good $50 cheaper than the external counterpart. So it's better to make use of internal serial ATA drives if you can, and you're not going to be able to use this type of adapter on a Mac because this actually connects into a Molex connector internally in the computer. My OS system is on here, and the one reason why this is a little bit more unique than a Macintosh as well is because on the Mac you can't actually, well, I mean, you can do a dual boot with Boot Camp, but that's not really a good way to go. What I'm saying is, with the way this system is, I can actually have my operating system on this swappable drive bay. I can actually have Windows 95 on here. And up until about 18 months ago, I was still using Windows 95. I also used XP as well, but I also had Windows 95 because one of my software programs, I think, went out of business, and I've got a version that only really works with Windows 95. They never updated it. Now, some Mac users might say, yeah, I've got something that works with, the Mac OS 8.5, and that's it. I can't use it. Well, if the Mac Pro was designed like this, you could load, your old Mac OS 8.5 onto this drive, when you want to edit stuff that, would only work with Mac 8.5 or 9.0. And, just, here's the drive that's actually in there. Just pop it out, and stick in another drive, like I might put Windows 94, well, that's an IDE drive. Here's a serial ATA drive. Like this one here, I might actually pop, have Windows 95 on it. I could pop that in there. I could put Vista on it. I could put, Red Hat Linux on there. Now, you Mac users aren't going to constantly want to keep opening up your drawer to put in, if you've got on a Mac, let's say, 3 drives in a RAID system, and then you got the Mac OS on another drive. You don't want to keep taking that the drive that's got your Mac OS X on it, keep popping it out, putting in a drive that has, Red Hat Linux on it, if it would even take to it, and then popping it out to put Mac OS 8 on it, if these new Macs would even take OS 8. Or the PCs, I can put like Windows 2000 on it. I could, like I said, put Linux Red Hat on it. And so some Mac users might be saying, yeah, it would be cool. In other words, I can have several machines in one. If you're going to edit uncompressed HD, it's going to take up a lot of hard drive space, and you're going to need quite a few drives rated in order to be able to edit, 3 layers of uncompressed HD. So that's something you have to think about. So on the PC side, obviously I could put 6, let's suppose I had 6 750 gigabyte SCSI drives in here. Well, let's just say serial ATA drives. That'll work because the Mac can have serial ATA as well. So you got 6 serial ATA drives in here, 750 gigabytes each, which would give me basically about 4.5 terabytes of storage, which is great. If you had to have like a 4-camera shoot and you had to edit, the Miss Michigan or the Miss West Virginia or the Miss California pageant, then if your production company had to also edit something like a parade or some kind of rock band in concert or something, an all-day rock and roll festival, and you were using the Panasonics with the P2 codec, and the 4.5 terabyte drive RAID system, you could put a lot of data on there. Everybody could sit there and edit, their projects as they needed to be. Now, the real kicker comes in when you start to get the hard drive full. Well, with Final Cut Pro, Premiere, and Avid, most editing software will allow you to take and consolidate that project and make the project actually a lot smaller than it originally was. That's where the PC users can just get inexpensive serial ATA drives, like a 750 gigabyte, drive, pop it in there, consolidate all the data to it, pop it out. Then, if you're editing more projects, let's suppose you had to do something at the Milan drag race or something like that, put that data in there. Let's suppose you had to do something like a local talent contest. My point is, you can put all the stuff on the big RAID system. Then when you get that edited, which you're going to finally fill up the RAID, you can consolidate it. You could use Final Cut Pro to consolidate it, but like I said, the Macintosh system just isn't designed as nicely as a PC. So once again, as the projects fill up my hard drive, the RAID system, because that's where you want it on when you're doing your editing. But once they get done, I got to consolidate. I just have to get inexpensive drives. The Macintosh user's not going to be able to do that. You could, in theory, you know, some people say, well, I can, you know, back my data onto a USB or a FireWire drive if I have, you know, RAID system in my Mac. Yeah, you can, but the problem is that you can get 1 terabyte drive, serial ATA internal ones, for basically $7, and you're going to pay about $140, $150 to get that, you know, in an external enclosure, whether it be USB, FireWire, or serial ATA. The reason being is because you're paying for, you know, the enclosure of the drive that it'll be in, plus the power adapter to connect it in, where I don't have that problem with these drives. And in theory, if you do a lot of video editing or audio editing, I mean, for a Mac user to pretend like their system is built the best, that's a bunch of bullshit. Every Mac user now is watching this saying, oh shit, yeah. I mean, the price that you pay for 3 eSerial ATA drives or FireWire USB, I can get internal serial ATA drives and actually get 5, 6, maybe even 7 for the price that you pay for 2 or 3. There is that much of a difference in price. I only have to buy this once, and you can get these for $15. You can get them for all the way up to about $25. And unlike the Mac, I don't have a sled to connect serial ATA drives. I'll actually prove it right now. If you've watched my other videos, there is no sled or no tray. It just pops in there, and it pops out just as easy. I mean, it's the better way to do things. So after seeing this, I hope Mac users can understand why I don't want a Macintosh system. It's a complete waste of money, and Steve Jobs doesn't know what's best for every video editor. Whenever I see a Mac user, they've got their case wedged in somewhere, so it's not going to be easy to install a drive in the first place. Like I said, once you got your 6 drives in there for the RAID, you're good to go. Once you fill up that RAID, all I have to do is get a 750 gigabyte drive. If I see Newegg has a nice 1.5 terabyte drive for $65, I can get that and keep popping them into my serial ATA swappable bay. So, and that's one thing I really wanted to clear up with the Mac users and why the Mac isn't the best. Now, I know there are Mac users that want to learn. I'm sure some Mac users are saying, oh, hell yeah, that would be a hell of a lot better than what Mac has. So when you say how cool it is that you got those swappable drive bays in the Mac, they are not as good as having something like this. Look, folks, you're not going to see the inside of my case. Who cares if wires are dangling? You're only going to see the outside. I think this does look a lot more sleek than the Mac case, and it blends in with all my other stuff as well. I just wanted to spend the last part of this video talking about aesthetics, not necessarily the inside or outside of the computer case, but rather the editing suite itself. If you look at my system, I think it looks decent, but I don't think I have the best one in the world. I'll say that up front. I would probably, like to maybe swap out my audio board and maybe get a little bit smaller like Mackie board and actually set it right there on top of my desk. And as you can see, I got shelves in mine instead of having like drawers. I know a lot of people, their editing suites have drawers on them. They almost look like a student desk. I knew I would take advantage of a shelf if I could find a nice computer desk that had it. So I like the way mine looks, and I also like that it's functional. Where my NTSC monitor is, when you see some of my audio rack gear, some will actually have an actual rack mount system located exactly where mine is, and they'll put their client / NTSC monitor right where mine is. So I tried to kind of imitate what a nice editing suite would look like. I would actually like to get a DeckLink card, obviously, and get a true HD monitor. Mine's just a standard definition monitor, but I mean, everything's worked out for me pretty decent so far.